Here's the deal. 18 months ago, I thought I was ready to release this message and this book. But looking back now, I wasn't. Now I had the knowledge, but I did not have the clarity, the alignment, or the conviction that I have today. So in this video, I'm gonna share why I'm actually releasing this brand new book right now, and why I'm hosting the live Kingdom Marketing Reset, and why now, and what led everything up to this point.
Welcome to the Chris Harold Show, where we help coaches, consultants, and experts go from overworked, overwhelmed, and underperforming to enjoying a full sales pipeline and more revenue in order to fulfill your kingdom assignment and create an eternal legacy using our God's masterpiece rapid success system. Welcome your host, Christopher Harold.
Let's just have a conversation. This is gonna be a little different video. This is gonna be more off the cuff, right? There's a couple things I wanna cover in this because I wanna give you the backstory that led to what's the Kingdom Marketing Reset, this event that we're putting together, that I definitely want you to attend as well. There's a link somewhere in the description. Click that link and get your seat. It's free to attend. And more importantly, let's talk about what led to this and what led to this event. Now, the only people who know what I'm about to share with you right now are my clients. My clients in our God's Masterpiece community. And here's the deal. I was supposed to, I felt led to release this book at least over 18 months ago. I believe God put this on my heart. God gave me this burden to release this book. And two things were happening at this time. First and foremost, I was very busy. Business was booming. I was busy. And my flesh did not want to do it. I didn't want to do it. It didn't make financial sense to me to stop. What I was doing was focusing on our premium value coaching program. It didn't make any sense to stop, basically kind of stop that and kind of shift focus to create a new book. Now, many of you may or may not know that I released my first published book a couple years back called Kingdom Affirmations, right? And this is a book that's transformed lives all over as well. And when I released this book, I didn't have a desire to create another book, right? It wasn't like, I need to do another one, everything like this. But I was kind of sensing something like, hey, maybe you should do a trilogy. I'm like, I'm busy right now. I'm trying to focus on helping the clients grow their businesses, and focus on the things we're doing with that. So I really didn't put much attention to it. But God has a way, God has a way of getting your attention, right? And God began to allow things to happen in my life and in my business that began to get my attention, right? And things began to shift in business. One thing I've discovered in business is that, I've been full-time online since August 23rd, 2016, when I was able to fire my job. And business has never been a straight up trajectory, right? If anyone tells you business goes their way, they're not being 100% honest with you. And same for me. It always been something maybe here, peak, then down, here, down, right? But each time it kind of went higher each time that it peaked. And one of the times that it peaked, I believe that I got a little too big for my britches, and God had to humble me in a way to get my attention, to be obedient to what he was calling me to do. And one of those were releasing a book and get to a point where basically I went on a sabbatical as far as seeking new clients. I literally went about 6 months without seeking clients, right? And began to seek God because God began to allow things to happen. See, God will cause things to happen that'll make you seek him even more. And each time I kept seeking him, I would hear, do the book. I'm like, I'm good, Lord. Let me do another challenge, right? Let me do another webinar, or let me do another virtual event, right? It was always, let me do something else, and I would get to that. And it got to the point where, over the last 18 months, God had really been stirring my spirit. And right, where I get to the point where I had to become obedient. Maybe you can relate to that, right? Maybe you can relate to that. And it got to that point. And where I had to shift my mindset of, Lord, this is not gonna make any money in comparison to my coaching programs, right? And God began to show me something even crazier and bigger that began to shift, to give me a paradigm shift in the way I was thinking and looking at this. And also, I would say this, if I would have released that book, because really, it's probably been more than 18 months ago. I probably wanted to release this book. First thought came to my mind, maybe a year or two after doing Kingdom Affirmations. Hey, I want to do a Kingdom Marketing Secrets book. Because I was like, I want to do a trilogy, right? Teaching the Kingdom. Kingdom Affirmations focus on your mindset, right? And I always teach my clients, if you follow me in any length of time, you've been in my challenges, you know I teach something called a prosperity pyramid. I actually break it down a lot more in detail in this book here as well. But you know, mindset controls everything first, right? The Bible talks about the mindset, renewing your mind. Well, as a man thinketh in himself, so is he, right? And so Kingdom Affirmations really helps you with the mindset. Helping you see the way, understand the mindset that you need to succeed in business, right? And then God led me to this, Kingdom Marketing Secrets, right? Which you will discover basically how to build a high impact brand without compromise. I teach in here what happened since I launched Kingdom Affirmations, going from creating 6 figures in only 59 days. Going from zero to multiple 6-figure business, and then even allowing that income to disappear and crash for a minute, right? And that process of growth that happened in that process. If I would have released this book 2 or 3 years ago, the richness and substance that's in it now wouldn't have been in there. That's how I know now is the time. Right? Because I was like, I love Kingdom Affirmations, but my opinion, this book is like, man, 10 times, 15, 20, 100 times better. Because of the richness that has happened since Kingdom Affirmations up until this point, right? And then we got another book that'll come out, God willing, in a year from now as well, to kind of be part of this trilogy. I'm not going to disclose the title of that one yet, but you will see it when it's there. But that's not, I was being a little bit of disobedient, but then at the same time, I wasn't ready. If I would have launched that business when I felt like I should have I launched this book when I felt like I should have launched it, it wouldn't have been as rich and as powerful and trustworthy. We have people who've gotten early copies of this book who told me it's changed their life. One person told me that just reading 2 pages in chapter 1 made him change his lifestyle. It made him look in the mirror and question who he is as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a man of God, as a husband, as a father, right? And I'm like, man, that's only the first chapter, bro. I mean, you haven't got into the meat of this yet. And so there's so much in it that's transformative. There's so much in it that I know will change your life. It will literally change your life once this gets into you. And so it took that process. It took those years, it took those ups, it took those downs, it took those wins, it took those losses to create this. Otherwise, it would have been just another typical tactical book like everybody in mind trying to release today, you know, just shallow, above the surface, tip of the iceberg. This here goes below the surface. This here goes deep. I mean, with an iceberg, you only see 90%. With an iceberg, you typically only see 10% of the iceberg. 90% is below the surface. This here is the below the surface stuff. This here is what creates true transformation. And that has led us to when we release this book here with the Kingdom Marketing Reset, which is a live event, a live masterclass and training where I'm gonna be teaching the principles from this book live, right? And then so that way you can see it up front and in person. So that's what the Kingdom Marketing Reset is about. It's a live virtual event experience of this book live, where we're gonna dive into the powerful principles that are in here as well. So that it can really transform your life and your business the way it has people that's gotten early copies of this. I've let a handful of people purchase it before, you know, I did the Kingdom Marketing Reset just to get their feedback, and they say it's just been It's been crazy. They're coming back to me, hey, I got somebody else want to buy it, but I got somebody else want to buy it. I'm like, the book is not officially out yet. But that's how powerful and game-changing it can be once you dive into this book. There's probably about 4 or 5 years worth of work in here since I released Kingdom Affirmations. So that's why I delayed this book for, I say 1.5 years, but probably 4 years, right? Since Kingdom Affirmations was first published. Now let's talk about what am I seeing today in Christian entrepreneurship, okay? The time of me doing this video right now is 2026, right? And we got the Kingdom Marketing Reset that's happening on March 7th, 2026, okay? Which is literally just a few days from me actually doing this video right now. And what I see with the whole dynamic, the whole space of Kingdom Entrepreneurship in 2026 is that God is always moving, right? God is not the same for far as what he desires and what he wants from those who are citizens in the kingdom, those who are vessels for him in the marketplace. And from what I've seen from 2021, from when I first launched Kingdom Affirmations and what happened around 2020, 2021, 2022, up to 2026, there has been a shift in the marketplace. And what I would say is that it's a good and a bad thing. It becomes a bad thing because why? If you don't see that shift, it will hurt your numbers in your business, right? You can go from doing 100 grand a month in business to nothing, literally. I've met so many people who've been hit by those different shifts that have taken place. And look at the Kingdom Entrepreneurship space, it's even deeper because God is always moving to a bigger vision. And what God has revealed to me over the last 5 years of business is that what got me to 6 figures in 59 days is not what's going to get me to multiple 7 figures, right? And so I have to shift and grow as well. That's why God allows certain things to come in your life and business, right? And we got to be wise enough to see the hand of God by staying close to God, by abiding in him, and shifting, because the moment we feel it's our business and we got our hands on the steering wheel, then we can begin to introduce compromise. And that's one thing I've seen. A lot of people who claim to be kingdom entrepreneurs and Christian entrepreneurs and business owners is that there's been a lot of compromise in the marketplace. There are a lot of folks who are truly money driven, but using the Bible to justify those things, right? And I get it. I've been there, right? But where I see the space is going, I think the people are looking for transparency. I think the marketplace is looking for someone genuine, not someone who is a quote unquote guru who got it all together and all that kind of stuff, right? But someone who is truly about expanding the kingdom of God through the marketplace. Now, we hear it a lot from people, but I first got introduced to this kingdom entrepreneurship space maybe around 2017, 2018, even though I was doing business before then, even though I've seen some other quote unquote kingdom entrepreneurship space around 2012, 2011, 2010. But far as the wave of this, right? And a lot of people who were doing $10 million a year in business under the Kingdom Entrepreneurship name have disappeared. Because what happened, a lot of them fell in love with the money. And I know that trap, right? I haven't done $10 million a year in business yet, but we've done okay. And I know that trap where you get so caught up in just making money that you no longer hear from God. And everything you do, you justify it, right? Any act that we want, anything that we want, we can justify it. We can twist up scriptures, and we can always combat somebody else who may try to confront us about it and say, hey, you got a poverty mindset, right? And ask me how I know. But I think today, in 2026, those who are truly in the kingdom entrepreneurship space are not money driven, right? And it doesn't take long to be around a lot of the mentors and gurus to see it sounds good what you're saying. I see you using the Bible, but if every video, everything you create is about money, it's about this, it's about material things. Are you truly in it for the kingdom, or are you in it for yourself? And there's a lot of well-meaning people, a lot of nice people that I've seen go down that road in that space, and they take a lot of people with them. And what happens is a lot of people who don't have the six-figure businesses yet, we get enamored by the gurus, we get enamored by everybody out there, and we start doing everything they tell us to do. And we move into the hustle zone, we move into the striving zone, we move into the grinding zone in the name of making money so we can do better, for the world. And we find ourselves, but most of us don't find ourselves, but we've moved down a land of compromise. See, when you compromise, you have no idea that you're compromising, right? Because if you did, you probably wouldn't do it. When Solomon began to compromise, in his eyes, he wasn't compromising, right? And so that's what's happening a lot in the marketplace today. The compromise for a lot of people who claim to know God is happening because why? We see the world who don't honor God with a lot of financial success, and there's nothing wrong with us having financial success either. Christ talked about money a lot, but he talked about it from a different standpoint and a different motive, not to let money have you, right? So, because poverty, in my opinion, is a curse. I don't see anything great about being impoverished. I don't see any good about being impoverished. So money is just, an idea. Money is just a tool, right? And so we have to realize what's out in the marketplace and also see the hand of God and what God is doing, what God is moving. Because sometimes God would have you stop something that's been successful for you for a period of time and say, go do something else. And it doesn't make a lot of human sense. That's what happened to me. It took me about 2 or 3 years to finally stop the things I was doing because I'm very, I persist. I have a spirit of perseverance. And so if things not going well, I just keep on going until I got a big bruise on my head, till I got a concussion, and now I got to shut it down. Does that make sense? Right? That makes sense, my friend? I mean, I'm sure you can relate to that as well, right? Type in the comments, how stubborn are you? What's one thing God has been trying to get you to move from? But maybe you've been stubborn, or maybe you like me, you see, well, hey, I gotta have a characteristics of persistence, all right? I gotta have this mindset, I gotta persevere. But yet, it's not working. It took me 2 or 3 years doing some things that worked before, that created a lot of massive success. The guy was trying to pull me from because I was so caught up in the success and wasn't really clearly hearing from God. That makes sense? Hope so. So with the whole Christian entrepreneurship space, I see a lot of burnout today. I see a lot of overwhelmed people. I see a lot of people hustling, grinding, chasing money, and becoming more and more frustrated because the results don't match up to the work. You're putting in 16, 17, 18, 19 plus hours a day, yet the results are not lining up. So a lot of people are burnt out, frustrated, and ready to give up on their calling, right? And one thing God has taught me with this book is about getting you back in alignment, okay? For what actually works. Principles that have always worked since the beginning of time. Biblical, powerful principles, what God operates. And the third thing I want to talk about is why this Kingdom Marketing Reset is different. We live in a day and age with a lot of hype, a lot of noise. It's like, whoever can make the most noise, make more noise, make people notice you. And a lot of people find themselves acting out of character. I've met a lot of people who purchased coaching programs from a lot of people out there. And they said, the stuff they try to make me do was not in alignment with who I am. It was not in alignment with my values, right? Because most people out there don't care about your values. They don't care about you being in alignment with God. That's not their agenda. All they care about is making more money, so they're gonna tempt you with the same thing. Hey, come make more money. Give me 15, 20, 50, 100,000 plus dollars, and I'll show you how to do it too, right? And so, with this masterclass, it's called a Kingdom Marketing Reset because I believe right now God is calling for a reset in the marketplace. There's a pivot. We're in the midst of a pivot, and this book is a pivot. There's a pivot in my life, a pivot in my business, and it's a pivot for you as well. And this masterclass is going to show you how to get in alignment with your assignment. It's gonna show you, literally, oh my goodness. It's gonna show you, my friend, kingdom implementation, how to design a kingdom aligned offer, how to begin to hear God in your business, my goodness, how to break the world system, the visibility shift, the positioning shift. I mean, it's so much we're going to talk about, right? In this masterclass, Kingdom Marketing Reset, this live event, and also we're going to release the book that day as well. That it's not going to be like anything you experienced before. It's not going to be some old hype webinar. It's not going to be telling you what you want to hear, all that kind of stuff. It's really, I call it a transformational experience. This is really built to be a live experience to begin to move and get into alignment with God. So if that resonates with you, you know, if you love God and you want God to show up more in your life and business, and you've been looking for something like this, you know, you've been looking for that shift, then I highly encourage you to attend the Kingdom Marketing Reset. It's a live event. It's going to be free. And it's happening on Saturday, March 7th. Saturday, March 7th. And the link should be in the description below. Click that link, or you may see the link in the comments, but click that link and get your spot. All right, and show up ready. Come expectant, and show up live. If you're called to be a leader, leader's going to show up live to this experience. Okay, show up live so you can begin to lead and do the thing that God is calling you to do in the marketplace. So I can't wait to share this with you. It's something, I'm gonna share some things that I've never shared before. It's something brand new for me. I've never done a big reset like this. So it's the first for me. So I'm excited, this is brand new. And so I'm really excited. We have people already registering who are excited and on fire and can't wait for this. So I encourage you to do the same. Click the link in the description and come and join us for this Kingdom Marketing Reset so we can begin to move in alignment, right, with what God is doing in 2026 and beyond, because there's a shift taking place. And those of us that has spiritual eyesight to see it, those of us who no longer want to chase money, right, and understand that money will come as a byproduct, those of us who's ready for the shift, there's a kingdom principle in Matthew 6:33. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and everything else should be added unto you. Well, that is called the kingdom principle of addition, right? Where literally we don't have to hustle, we don't have to grind, we don't have to toil, we don't have to manipulate, we don't have to lie, we don't have to compromise, we don't have to do all those things, right, that the world tells us to do, and unfortunately that religious believers would tell us to do as well, who veered off the path, because it's so easy to do in the marketplace. It's so easy to shift from the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords being God to the dollar. And we justify it. Ask me how I know I've been there. And God will humble you if you're a child of God, and God will discipline you, as he said, right? Don't get frustrated with God's discipline. Understand, God disciplined those who he loves. And God has disciplined me many times to get me corrected. Just like a shepherd, the shepherd has a staff, with the sheep. And it may be a little painful when he's hitting that sheep, when that sheep is veering out of the path, but it's for his own benefit. And God will do that for you and I as well. So I can't wait to see you at the Kingdom Marketing Reset. Again, it's a live event that's happening on Saturday, March 7th, 2026. So again, click the link in the description, reserve your spot now, and show up live, ready for a powerful transformation. I look forward to sharing this with you, my friend. I've even been praying on maybe bringing a special guest on as well, because I want this to be a powerful, powerful transformation experience, right? And so, my friend, so hopefully you enjoyed this. I look forward to seeing you on the Kingdom Marketing Reset. And remember this, keep putting God first. Put God first in all that you do, and you too shall succeed. God bless.
Built with the king, I don't hustle or chase. I move by sound, man, I stay in my place. Authority talk when I step in the room. Kingdom marketing, heaven says the moon. Built with the king, I don't hustle or chase.